But as I started thinking about it, I think that if we had more time to sit down and talk about it, there's a whole slew of other things that go not just beyond the there's two aspects. I think along the right idea, there's a lot of aspects about right timing, right idea. I don't know, luck and fortune being exactly at the right spot at the right time. However, I think that a lot of people think that that's not controllable, that that's just somewhat of a lottery ticket. I do think that there is a lot of that that's under the control of the entrepreneurs, the people starting these companies, which is, it's there are a lot of right ideas in different times, and it's really trying to evaluate, given the sort of variables that you have to work with, whether or not right now is the right time to do this idea. I think with going back to YouTube, the reason why I think it was 2005 was the right time was it was just happened to be the first time where broadband penetration reached over 50% of the people, and not just in the U.S., but it was expanding very greatly in Europe as well as in Asia. You had the first time where digital cameras dipped below the $200 price points, and all these digital cameras were able to take videos for the first time. And people were taking these videos, and they just had no place to share them, right? Just you couldn't email them back and forth. You couldn't. There was no place to actually upload them and share them online. And then the third reason why I think YouTube in 2005 was the right time was the software was there. That the sort of both the proliferation of computers and desktop computers, laptops, was great, but on top of that, the software was there such that you didn't have to sort of download an application in order to watch videos. And the latest version of the Flash player, it actually had a video codec and an audio codec that was that you can play videos directly into the browser. So you pretty much had 99% of the people out there with the ability to create videos, with the ability to watch videos, and with the sort of broadband penetration to watch videos. So, I mean, I do think the summary of that is that I think there's a lot of it that goes into that a lot of the timing and being lucky with the right idea is somewhat controllable and is part of sort of the evaluation phase of an idea. And finally, I think there's a lot to be said about the hard work that's involved. I think that especially as we were starting out, in 2-3 months after we launched, so we started working on the site in January of 2005, and about March of 2005 was when Google Video launched videogoogle.com, and that was a few sleepless nights there about, okay, should we stop working on it? Should we continue to try to work on this original idea? And I think that at the end of the day, the hard work was something that we just thought, if there's something that you can tangibly, you can actually, palpably touch, you can control something. I didn't want it to turn out that, if YouTube ended up being a failure sometime later on, it was because, we didn't spend enough time trying to iterate and trying to work on the right product, right? So there was a lot of just hard work and making sure that everybody was on the same page about getting the right idea out there. And I think that along the way here, along the way with the rapid success of YouTube, there's a lot that I've learned about, how to take a company of 3 people to a company now of over 300 people, and having gone through a couple venture capital rounds, having gone through an acquisition with Google, it's about, but all the different things in there about, sort of how to deal with venture capitalists, right? How to create a legal department, a marketing department, PR department, so on. A lot of these things about how to grow just an engineering team, which I was in control of at YouTube, from where everybody was allowed to just do anything they wanted, push anything to the live web systems, to, as you start growing bigger, where you have developers that are coming in and push out something and it could actually take down the entire site. So it was really this emphasis about, okay, so how do you put in more restrictions? And you grow this organization just on the engineering side and product side, which I was controlling, from 2 people to 10 people to 30 people to 50 people. And every step along the way, you sort of figure out, I think every step along the way, there's a sort of an organizational structure that works really well, but then if you're expanding the company pretty quickly, 3 to 6 months later, it'll be outdated. But all along the way, I found people that have just been tremendously helpful to me, to be able to ask them, people that have started companies before, people that have been wanting to give back to other people that are trying to start companies. And it saved us from the sort of a lot of times where there's decisions and 2 viable paths, or both paths seem pretty viable, and instead of trying to take one and learning by sort of a trial by fire, it's been very helpful to ask, these guys about, okay, so when you were dealing with this problem 20 years ago, 15 years ago, what was it that you did, and tell us why. And I think that alone has saved us just so much time, so much energy, and may have been one of the things that really pushed us over to the side of success rather than failure. So in short, I think that, part of what I want to do here, and one of the major reasons of joining the community of hundreds, is to be able to help out with other people that are faced with similar problems, and whatever value my advice has, but at least be able to talk about it. And if other people that find themselves in the same situation that I was in 3 years ago and have the same sort of questions that I have, hopefully I can answer any of these questions and maybe create some shortcuts and not having to take the long road. Thanks.